Yep.
But I
Yep.
started thinking about it, and I thought, okay, Taylor and I are two generations. I'm a baby boomer. I'll be turning 68 in October.
Have you ever heard of people using the joke, okay, boomer? Past 2 or 3 years, there's this thing between baby boomers and us millennials.
Okay.
And so it's like this sarcasm, like you'll give some sort of, wise wisdom to us millennials, and then our response is, okay, boomer.
Okay, I've actually seen that in a comment in social media. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see that now, I don't know if I'm waiting for boomers to come out with something else, to say back at us millennials. But I hear that all, from time to time, where they'll say, okay, boomer.
Well, and maybe I haven't received that personally, and I haven't, because I learned so much from millennials and the even the Gen Zs,
and that's probably why you haven't heard
the Ys, huh?
That's probably why you haven't heard it, because you learn so much from them, and you're open to all generations, from the littlest to the oldest.
I know there's sometimes I'll be in a session and I'll be like, I'll tell people, tell me more, because these are things I'm learning along the way.
My wife says, say more. That's her go-to social worker language with people. Say more. So yeah.
Oh, but I guess that does happen a lot, and it happens probably a lot with adult children trying to talk to their older parent. I know it happened. I mean, our generation, the baby boomer generation, we had to deal with our parents, who was the silent generation. You don't talk about it. I mean, all of the veterans of World War II that I worked with, I mean, who were actually told, don't talk about it. How do you best approach conversations between boomers and millennials? What do you see as the difficulties, and where do you find it easy?
So I don't
Are your
know
parents boomers?
Huh?
Are your parents of the boomer?
My parents are both boomers.
Okay.
It's easy for me, because as a millennial with my parents, because my parents are both very curious individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually realize this until the other day, that Walt Whitman is the guy who actually coined the phrase, about being curious rather than judgmental, being able to ask questions and gain insight rather than making the assumptions. Never realized that was a big thing for Walt Whitman. And so when we are looking at social issues and issues of justice and of things we don't understand and of people we don't understand,
and family issues, and when we're just trying to talk to our family members about practical things that we need to be able to talk about, like
and learning to ask questions that don't have the stigma of judgment, right? So I'm teaching people, and it is more common for people to understand to stop asking questions that start with the word why. I don't know why, but why has a judgment attached to it. Don't know. When to me it is very curious, but for some reason it just has a lot of judgment. So just use the word what.
Which is okay.
Which takes the target off of the person and puts the target on a different subject. So why do you do this versus what are you doing with this? Why are you using alcohol versus what is the alcohol doing? It's putting the target on the alcohol versus the target on the person.
I see. Okay. Yeah. That's a good one in terms of communication skills.
Judgment versus curiosity. And I think that's the key between any generation, but especially boomers and millennials.